Hey, what's happening, guys? So let's talk about the current state of where Esentl is. We're kind of shifting directions within the company of what we want to do. We've been in the apparel industry for quite some time now. T-shirts, sublimation, all that kind of stuff. We're kind of veering away from t-shirts. We still do them, and we'll still be providing videos about t-shirts and whatnot and different products. But what we're doing is focusing on the laser engraving industry or the hat patch industry. So what we're going to be doing today is showing you what we're going to be doing as a website in regards to providing products to the industry for the hat decorating, system. So what we're going to be talking about here today is what Esentl is doing in regards to kind of helping the industry. What we've noticed, or what I've noticed, is that you have some main companies that are out there right now. You've got Hyde Bond, which kind of started it all. So Noah from Hyde Bond, started featuring his leather adhesive. He had a partner named Josh. They split up eventually and went their separate ways. Josh started Lone Star Adhesive, same adhesive, but his own company. So Hyde Bond has their own leatherette. Lone Star has their own leatherette. They have their adhesives that they sell, which is what made them kind of stand apart in the industry. And this was because they found that a lot of times the product that they were getting from other companies, their adhesives might have failed, or they wanted to provide a product that was a little more fail-safe and didn't have problems. Well, we've been studying, watching the industry of where this is kind of heading, but me myself, just like when I got into the t-shirt printing industry, wanted to find ways to improve upon that, or find the best sources, the best prices, find ways to maximize your profits for you guys as companies, even for myself as a company, because we just got tired of seeing corporate world rip off the print industry in regards to giving them prices at almost retail levels. So when it comes to these types of products, we want to try to, if you don't have wholesale, want to try to find that medium in between, that the price is just right between wholesale and retail, to where you guys can afford to buy it and basically make a lot of profit off that. But where they become rich is off their adhesive. And when I look at their adhesive, I know exactly what they're selling. If you're in the print industry, you know exactly what they're using, okay? We use the same product. The only difference is we source it here in the USA to keep the work here. But sometimes, in order to help the masses, you kind of have to go overseas in order to get a better price, in order to bring that better price to your people. So we're trying to find the balance of what we're going to do. So here at Esentl, what we're going to be doing is going overseas to outsource these products. But what we're going to be doing, based on our research and what we've been seeing in the industry, is bringing you a product that's bigger, better, and more efficient, and that's definitely going to be more affordable. Now, you guys have to keep in mind, when you do go overseas, there's a lot involved. You've got customs involved, you've got taxes involved, you've got to negotiate your price there, and then you've got to deal with shipping and customs. Now, that also is a factor in adding to your ultimate total cost out the door. There's either pickup fees involved, or you have to use door-to-door service. In those cases, some people might be shipping air freight, which comes directly to their house, or overseas shipping freight, which comes on a boat. Obviously, air is going to be more expensive, so your product's going to be a lot more. So right now, that's the current state of where I am at. Is we have our product that we've been messing with, and we've actually put it on a hat. So this is our 1.78 millimeter leatherette material. This is actually our vintage series. What we're going to be doing as far as leatherette is only focusing on the colors that we know sell, whether they're solids or whether they're a series that really simulates leather. So we're going to have two different series. One will be a retro series that simulates leather and buckskin, and then one's going to be like a vintage, kind of like what you've seen on the hat, which is this right here. We have this series that we're busting out. Really thick foam fabric. Like we said, this is coming in at 1.78 before the adhesive. When you see the pictures, you're going to see how fine of detail you can get on that material, and that shocked the heck out of me because I have a 155 watt Boss laser, and the detail was absolutely insane. So China has anywhere between 40 and 60 colors that are kind of the standard and the default colors for Leatherette and their industry. So between Hyde Bond, even mine, and Lone Star's, they're all 3-layer products. So you have the top layer, which is this colored layer. This is a top layer. Then you have a sponge layer that's underneath that, okay? And then you have the black layer, which is the engraving layer. And then of course you put your custom adhesive on there. So multiple layers to these products, which is why we're focusing more on the quality of what we're going to be doing. So as of today, filming of this video, we're getting our samples today from China. Now, what is the difference between what I'm doing with China and what they're doing with China? So the difference is we have an actual person that we know in China. Anything I need, I basically tell her. She sources it out, finds it, takes care of everything from there to here, and you're good to go. So in contacting her, this woman has been phenomenal. So she's handled all of our business over there, and it's great because if I was trying to communicate with these manufacturers, it's going to be harder because a lot of times, for example, when you go on Alibaba, you're dealing with a salesman. When it comes to these products, their job is to squeeze the most money out of you as they can. Very hard to negotiate with a direct manufacturer because you have that middle salesperson, and that's the person you basically are trapped with dealing with. So she can go directly to the sources, directly to the manufacturers, and talk to the actual owners themselves, or the main person that she needs to talk to handle pricing, to handle negotiations, quantities, MOQ, blah, 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 etc. So that's who we have in our corner, and that's a plus for us because it helps us when it comes to negotiations there. She can get into places that I just can't. Unless I go there directly on a flight and talk to these people, that would be the only way. But she can do what I can't do, and that's why I appreciate her. She's basically sending us all the sample colors of every leatherette you could think of that's out there. There'll be about 3 stacks like this thick booklets of the fabric swatches, the carbon fibers, the gold metallics, the silver metallics, the you know, they're all on there. So there's 3 swatch books of just that. So we're going to be doing a video on us kind of looking at those too. But that's the difference. I mean, most people don't get these. So unless you're doing mass production with them, will you finally be maybe getting into the little nitty gritties with the companies of what they can do. But there's also custom colors you can do. So I know Lone Star does a lot of this stuff. And then Hyde Bond does, you know, a few custom colors that they do. Custom colors are great. All they require is minimum order quantities. So you have to buy so much of that product in order for them to do a custom color for you that they have to order a lot of quantities for. So initially to get those going, that's what they got to do. And anytime they want to add a color, that's what they got to do. They got to buy a lot of it in order to provide you guys with a custom color, which is nice. We're able to do the same thing. Will we be doing that right now? No, because we don't have to. Right now, we will be having some of the most banging colors that are out there. As well, we're gonna have a vintage series. This one I think we're doing about 8 colors in this one, ranging from beiges to blues to the dark browns, the middle browns, the reddish browns, the actual rose brown. So a lot of great leather style colors will be in this series. As well, we're going to have a denim series. So I think we have about 2 or 3 denim colors that we might be doing. But the idea behind getting the swatches was so that we can physically see everything they have, aside from, you know, doing custom stuff. And the great thing is I know that this manufacturer decorates for all these guys, because they actually showed the book swatch of all the camo colors that Lone Star has, as well as some other companies that I've seen online that sell custom colors, you know, even some rainbow leatherette colors. The cool thing is the manufacturer that we have is the manufacturer that supplies the manufacturer. So again, this was the great thing about having a source in China. She found the manufacturer that supplies to their manufacturers in regards to, you know, getting that stuff done. So I thought that was pretty cool. The difference is there, if you're on Alibaba and you're dealing with a manufacturer that are just selling you sheets, that's where you know you're dealing with a manufacturer that buys from the manufacturer, the main piece, because you're having to buy in sheets. We're buying it by the yard. So we're purchasing this stuff in rolls, big, huge rolls. I mean, we're talking rolls of this material. And then we're gonna have a custom cutter out there cutting our sheets to the dimensions that we personally want. So here's our thought process about what we're doing for the sheet sizing. So typically your sheets will come from all these companies out here in a 12 by 24, right? So you get a 12 by 24 sheet. They don't sell anything other than that. For me, it makes no sense for me to purchase 24-inch sheets. Not gonna do it, and there's no reason to do it, and here's my reasoning behind that. Our GripTech adhesive that we're gonna be purchasing will be coming in 19-inch rolls. I think it's like 19.25-inch rolls, something like that. Most of the rolls that you purchase from overseas, their standard is typically, well, they have standard sizes, right? The best standard is 19 inches, and then they have 25. When it comes to your heat press is 16 by 20, right? So why would you purchase a 24-inch roll? Why do I want a quarter of my sheet hanging off of my press? Or why would I want to have to cut another piece of adhesive just to put it on that last quarter that's dangling off? To me, that's time wasted. That's material kind of wasted. And I just don't have time to sit there and press a sheet 2 times. So when you've got to put your adhesive on here and you've got 6 inches or so of this dangling out of the machine, you've got to melt all this part, and you got to remember there's an adhesive transfer film that's on there, and then you got to put this part in there, and then you got all this part hanging out of your machine. Then you got to make sure you didn't overcook what you already did. To me, it's just a waste of time, and it's just something that doesn't have to be done. But because these companies are buying from manufacturers that have only specific measured sheets, namely 12 by 24 and 12 by 18, they're kind of stuck with that because they don't know any better, because they're dealing with middlemen. We're able to have a company out there custom cut to our dimensions. So we're going to be cutting at the same dimension as this sheet, probably about 19.25, 19 and a half, somewhere around there, because we want to maximize your time. Your time is precious. The faster you can get this adhesive on a sheet, the better. So you could do that, but again, you're dealing with the fact that you've got to hit it twice in your machine. I don't have time for that. So by us customizing our sheets at 19.50, that is going to be able to get that whole sheet in the heat press in one hit. It's going to make you more efficient. It's going to make you faster. When you can get things out quicker, you make more money. Your time is money in this industry. It is. That's where we're at in regards to what we're going to be doing with our adhesive rolls. So when our GripTech releases, it will release in rolls. We don't know if we're going to be having 12-inch rolls available. The drawback to 12-inch rolls is that when you have a 12-inch roll, well, guess what? You now have to turn your sheet this way, and you're rolling out this way, and you're wasting your product pretty fast. Versus when you can just put, I'd rather, you know, when you've got to roll out 24 this way versus 12 inches this way, it's more efficient. I mean, it could work out either way. It just depends, I guess, on your budget on what you want to spend. So we're debating if we'll have the 12s. For sure, we're going to have the 19. Now, here's what I'm kind of debating. I'm debating if we should sell the sheets with adhesive, or we just leave them without adhesive, because that keeps the cost down. And then if we can keep our labor down, because we're not having to put adhesive sheets on all the leatherette, that brings your leatherette cost down, but it also allows you to put in the work. So you're able to buy the roll and you just do your own leatherette sheets. But the benefit of that is, let's say you ordered 20 sheets or 50 sheets of this one particular color, right? And you said, I want the adhesive on there, so we do that, we send it to you, but that color just doesn't do well. Well, now you've got 50 sheets of that stuff with expensive adhesive on it, and you're stuck with it. You've got to do something with it, but if you do it yourself, you kind of save that adhesive, because you're not having to put it on a product that is not selling. So you're only putting your adhesive on your products that sell, and it's kind of similar to what we've done in the print industry with t-shirts and transfers. So the reason why we bought heat press transfers was because we can have a stack of one particular design and multiple designs on a shelf, and when somebody ordered that one design, we can pull a blank t-shirt out, put that transfer on the shirt, ship it out, done. Instead of making 50 shirts all at once, those 50 shirts nobody likes, they can't stand that design, it bombs, now you're stuck with 50 shirts you can't sell. So it's the same concept, right? You put your own adhesive on, great. But hey, I've got more information on this topic. I just couldn't put it all in this one video. It would have been way too long. So if you want to hear more, there is a part 2 to this. Go ahead and click on that now, and I'll catch you in the flip side, guys. Peace out.